I want to talk to you about setting up your Windows environment so that you can be most efficient when you're performing duties as a developer. To start with, let me set the stage. I'm running Windows 10, although it doesn't really quite look like Windows 10. I'll talk about that a bit more shortly. First thing I want to deal with, though, is the control panel. So moving to the control panel, usually off the Start button, we'll get to the control panel. And most people, when they display the control panel, it looks like this, which is fine. But as a developer, you'd like to be able to get to any of the control panel settings in one step, not going through 2 or 3 steps. So the category view is not the best view. The best view really is small icons. And here you can see every single item within the control panel and can go directly to any of them just with a single click. It's arranged alphabetically, starting right to left, left to right at the top. All right, next, File Explorer options. Now, in order to talk about the File Explorer, we're talking about the Windows Explorer, not the Internet Explorer. Explorer has several meanings in the Windows environment. We need to talk about some files. So let me open up a folder that has some files in it. All right, here's a folder that's got some files. We're in list view right now, and people use various different views as their favorite view, and you know that you can switch among the different views. In Windows 10, it's up here in the left-hand side. In earlier Windows versions like 8 or 7, there was a little view menu item on the right. The problem with list view, and actually many of the views, is that, well, here, look at this. I have a larger file, a larger file, a larger file. I've got 3 files called a larger file. But you can see there is a different icon on that. But what does that icon particularly mean? And how are these 2 larger files different or similar? And you, as a developer, need to know what kinds of files these are. And sure, you can always right-click, and here, I'll right-click on this one and go to Properties. And yes, you can see, wow, it's a text file. That's wonderful. But life is too short to muck around like this. You'd like to know what these files are, their file types, at a glance. This is crucial as a developer because different file types, even though they may have the same primary name, are used for very different purposes. All right, so how do you control what do you see? I mean, sure, you can use a detail view. That'll tell you what the type is and so forth, but you still don't see the entire file name because this isn't a larger file. This is actually a larger file .png, and this one is a larger file .rtf, and you don't see these file extensions or file suffixes. So we want to turn that on. All right, I'll show you how to turn it on. That works in all versions of Windows, far back as even Windows 3. So, and certainly the recent ones. All right, so we're once again going to go to Control Panel. So Control Panel, coming up, and you want to go to something that says File Explorer Options. That's what it's called in Windows 10. In earlier versions of Windows, it was called something like File Options. So I'll click here. And here we have a neat thing called File Explorer Options. Great. This is a Windows dialog. It's actually a particular kind of dialog called a property sheet, and property sheets have tabs. We want the center tab, the View tab. Now, this is set up right now the way it comes default from Windows, which is great for the great unwashed masses, but not great for us as developers. So there are a few things that we want to change. First of all, you want to turn on display the full path name in the title bar. That's so you can see the entire path, because you're going to need to navigate to different files throughout your file system. All right, scrolling on down a little bit, it says hide extensions for known file types. It is crucial that you uncheck this option. That's what is hiding those extensions. All right, a little bit further down, there's a really neat option that says restore previous folder windows at logon. That's really very handy. What it does is it tells Windows when you shut Windows down, Hey, whatever folders you happen to have open, when Windows is restored, when it's restarted, reopen all of those windows. So we'll click it, turn it on. All right, that's going to set things up for us quite nicely. All right, okay, and get out of the control panel, and look, you can see all of the file options, every single one of them. You can see them here in detail view, you can see them in list view, you can see them in icon view. You can always see the file extensions. That's what you need. And now you can tell, hey, this larger file was a rich text file, that's a normal text file, this one's a PNG, it's an image file. All right, now in Windows 10, it was only in Windows 10, you could have done the file name extensions option here at the top in this window, in this ribbon it's called. All right, that's great. You want it so you always see these options. Now this ribbon is very handy, but it takes up an awful lot of real estate. Personally, I essentially never have the ribbon showing. Well, almost never. So I will just double click and the ribbon will go away. And you can get it back anytime you want just by double clicking. All right, I'll leave it off. Oh, by the way, here, there's a little down arrow. It says customize the quick access toolbar. All right, that's another important little option here. And among the things it allows you to do is to minimize the ribbon or not. I just use double click for that. But I normally leave the delete option checked. It isn't checked by default, but that's really handy because it means that you can have a file checked and click on the delete little X and bingo, that file's been deleted. You don't have to go mouse around and drag it to the trash. That'll do it for you. All right, so that's really, really important. All right, next thing to talk about is file organization. Now, the issue is this. You are going to be building a variety of different kinds of projects, and within those projects there'll be a variety of different files. When you're using a project builder of some kind, like Visual Studio perhaps, it will take care of making sure that all of the files for the project are contained within a collection of folders. But you may well want to have a collection of folders separate from Visual Studio, and in it you can organize all of the various activities. For instance, one folder for a course, and then within that folder, a collection of additional folders to deal with each of the various activities, each of the homework assignments, say, because normally a homework assignment may consist of more than one single file. The worst thing you can possibly do is go to your documents folder and have a bazillion of documents here. Now, this environment I'm running right here has a documents folder that's essentially empty. That's because I'm not using this for normal development. I'm just using it for this screencast. All right, but it's much handier to have a collection of folders. Here, the Visual Studio folder. And within it, there are a collection of additional subfolders. And within them, a collection of additional subfolders, and so forth. Okay, so separate folder for each major area. That is good file organization. Next, compressing and extracting files. Now, let me open this folder again. Here's the deal. When you download files, applications, whatever, from the web, typically they're going to come down in compressed form. Now, the word compressed typically means in zip form, ZIP, zip form. All right, so say you downloaded a file or folder and it's in the zip form. You then need to extract it to get the stuff out of that folder. All right, well, I don't happen to have one around at the moment, so let's go and let's create one. So how do you create a zip file so that we can then later on demonstrate unzipping? All right, well, there are a collection of applications that you can use for creating zip files. And most developers have their particular favorite, but you don't actually have to go to a standalone application to create a zip file. You can use Windows. Windows is quite happy to create a zip file. All right, well, let's see here. Here's a larger file, And we might want to see how big it is. So gee, I'll go to view for a moment and details. And all right, we can see this larger file. This one is, gee, it's 3K. And oh, another one, it's 3.5K. I'd say a million bytes, really. Let's zip this one. All right, a larger file.txt. I'm going to right click and scroll down a little bit, and you will see send to. And on the right now it says send to compressed, in parens, zipped folder. Well, it is a zipped folder, but it's really a zipped file. It is in fact a file. All right, I'm going to left click, and in a moment, there it is. Here is this. You'll notice the primary name is still the same, a larger file. But it's a .zip file. Look how large the zip file is. It's only 20K. Look at the original. It was 3 megabytes. That's a very, very large amount of compression. That's wonderful. All right, well, that'll zip an individual file. All right, let me get rid of it. And let's say I want to collect a whole bunch of files into a zip file. Maybe all of them. Select the ones you want. Or, hey, let's leave out one. Let's leave out the rich text. All right, I'll right-click, send to, compressed, and in a moment, there you are. Here, 57K, this entire folder that was originally over 6.5 megabytes big is now only 57K. Really good compression. Well, you won't always get such good compression. Now, one of the neat things about zip files, and this is in the more recent versions of Windows, is if you double click this larger file, this zip file, look, there are the contents. It looks like a normal file. And in fact, you can double click these guys and actually see what's in them. Here, let's go take a look at what's a small text file. Double click. There it is. Just a tiny text file. Let's go look at this other one, the RTF file. I'll double click it. Hey, there it is. It's a WordPad file. Excellent. So the point is that you can look at these files. You can even do some operations on them while they're within the zip file. But that's not what you want to do because they're within the zip file itself. And so getting stuff put back into the zip file while you haven't really extracted can be, well, the word is problematic. All right, so let me close this. Whoops. And now, how do you unzip a zip file? Well, I just showed you double clicking will allow you to look at things. And certainly you could have double clicked, selected all these puppies, and hey, drag them off to the desktop. That would work. That's fine. But even easier, let me go back. So I'm going to right click on a larger zip. All right, right click on it. And you'll notice now it says extract all. This only appears when you have a zip file. Extract all. I'm going to select extract all. And now Windows is showing you precisely where it is going to extract all these files. It is going to extract these files into some stuff. And this last thing here is a larger file. That's going to be a folder. And I'm asking Windows to, hey, show me the extracted files when we're done. I'll say extract. And in a moment, there we are. We are now inside some stuff, right? Inside stuff in that larger file. The larger file folder, really. And look, now these are normal files in every respect. Normal files. So go back up again. Normal files. Excellent. So now you know how to compress things, and you know now how to uncompress them, to extract them. And you know how to access them while, well, one file or a couple files at a time, just by double clicking. All right. Well, I'm not going to leave these puppies around. I'll go ahead and delete them. Oh, I'll use a little X up there. Good, they're gone. Well, they're not entirely gone. They're in the trash, of course. And they won't truly disappear until you empty the trash. Okay, next. Let's talk about getting a command prompt. I'm positive that you all know how to get a command prompt. Well, you go click the little start and you can go over and get a command prompt, or you can click run and then type CMD and all that stuff. But let me make this a little bit fancier. I want a command prompt, and I want to be in this folder, this Some Stuff folder. That's the folder I want to be in the command prompt. How do you do that? Well, you get a command prompt, and you have to navigate to users, Barry, desktop, yeah, no, life's too short. Ever since Windows 8, this is what you do. Make sure that nothing is selected. Whoops, something's selected, click outside. Nothing is selected. Hold down the Shift key and right-click. You will now see a new entry, Open Command Window here. I'll select it. And I am now in that folder. This Some Stuff folder. Look at it. Here, I'll do a dir, and there are all the files. By golly, we didn't have to do any navigating at all. All you have to do is make sure that nothing is selected and hold down the Shift key, right-click. All right, and of course you leave a command prompt by either typing the word exit and pressing enter, or the X at the top right, either one. All right, now there's something else I forgot to mention here. Now you can see at the moment that, yeah, we're in this C users buried as that is the full path, but you can't, if you wanted to copy, there's no way to copy that. Well, there is a way to copy it, but not here. All right, if you look at here, we see we're in the Some Stuff folder, subfolder really. Just to the left, you'll see this little icon, looks like a file icon. Click it. Ah, now you can see the entire path, and that is an editable field. You can copy that, well, Control-C will copy it and put it in the clipboard for the moment, and bingo, you can use it anytime in any way you want. So that's how you get the path. Yeah, you can see it here, but if you want to be able to copy it, and we can even, hey, type and change it if we wanted to, and that will change us to another directory, another folder. All right, well, I don't really want to do this, so we're not going to move out of this folder. Okay, next, screen capture. Now, screen capture is something that you're probably going to need to do. Now, the issue is, how do you do it easily? Well, there are a bunch of different ways. To begin with, what you could do, let me get something up that I want to capture. Maybe this little file here. I want to capture this in the screen. But if you just press print screen alone captures the entire desktop. Let me demonstrate that for you for a moment. So let me get rid of him for a moment and bring up WordPad perhaps. And WordPad, do I have WordPad around here somewhere? I should. Windows Accessories, WordPad, there we go. Oh, I need WordPad because that is going to allow me to paste in an image. So if I press print screen, which I just did, and now if I do a Control-V, bingo, you can now see, oh my goodness, look at this. That's the entire screen. But I don't want the entire screen. What I want is, well, gosh, I want just that single, where was it? Here, I just want this. How do you get just this, the active window? Well, it depends to some extent on what computer you've got, because if you're working on a laptop, it may be that you need to press an extra key. But if you go to Help, that is, say, Windows Help, or in Windows 10, Cortana, and look for the item Screen Capture, it'll tell you precisely how to capture the screen, the entire screen, or just the active window. And in most versions of Windows, certainly on desktops, if you press down the Alt key at the same time as you press print screen, I have Alt key now down, pressing print screen. All right. And now I'm going to go back and get WordPad up again. So let's get WordPad up again here. And where were we? Accessories and WordPad, and I'll paste it in. Here we are. Look, we got just the single active screen. That's normally what you want, just the active screen. All right. Well, that's That's pretty good. That's pretty easy. However, ever since Windows 8, there's been another way to go about capturing the active screen. So let me bring up this small text file again. What you can use is something called the snipping tool. All right, once again, we'll go off to the snipping tool out of, it's probably under accessories. And yeah, look at that. It says snipping tool. All right, I'll click it. And up we have the snipping tool. There we are, the snipping tool. You click on new. And now we're in a special mode. We're going to capture just the window. Well, capture a little bit more than the window. So you can see I'm getting just this. This is now in the snipping tool clipboard. All right, we could in fact save it on our desktop if you wanted to. Or we could put a copy of it into the Windows clipboard. And now let's go back to, let's see, do I still have WordPad running around? I think I do. WordPad, yeah, there it is. Hey, I'm going to paste it in here. Look, here, the second page, look at that. This came just now from the snipping tool. So that's another way to go about doing the screen capture of anything you want. Use print screen or alt print screen to capture the entire desktop or just the active window. And you can use the snipping tool to capture just whatever it is that you want to look at, which may or may not be an entire window. Okay, next, virtual machines. What we're looking at here, as I said, is Windows 10. And it is, in fact, Windows 10, except what you're used to seeing with Windows 10 looks like this. All right, well, that's neat if you like, oh my goodness, scrolling around, looking for things, and then life's too short. Yeah, you can get the things that you really want to use and stick them here in the panel area. You can. That'll speed things up a bit, but still, life's too short. So many of us don't do this. We use the desktop for everything. All right, well that's pretty good. Except that, how do we get a desktop that functions like this? That looks like, honest to goodness, the old-fashioned access, the old-fashioned start menu, and oh hey, we can look at apps and here we have oh gosh, settings and control, all of that stuff. So I actually can go both ways here. I can go with a start screen and go traditional Windows, or I can say no, I want to use this more efficient, frankly, way of doing things. Well, the way you go about doing this is installing a Start button replacement. The one that I like best is called Start is Back. Start is Back. And the version for Windows 10 is Start is Back++. There's the website, www.startisback.com. So I find it much more efficient to use Start is Back for my Windows access to everything in the world, really. Start is Back is not free, but it's very low cost. And it's like $15 or something like that. That for like 5 or 6 different computers, and for a perennial, long-term, forever type license. Okay, now I was talking about virtual machines. I didn't really get into it. Now here's the deal. I want to be able to create an environment where I can do anything I want, and even get infected with a virus, perhaps. Anything I want whatsoever. Install applications, try out new software, and then I don't want to have to worry about the fact that many apps, many installations don't really uninstall very well. They mostly uninstall, but not completely. I wanted to have an environment that is essentially a disposable environment. Well, one way you can go about doing this, of course, is to partition your hard drive and set up Windows in that hard drive, partition and do whatever you want there, and feel pretty safe that it's separate and isolated from your master partition. Okay, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of pain, and it's not quite discardable because, well, if you do discard it, then you're gonna have to set up Windows again and all that. Life's too short. So what I do is I use a virtual machine. Now, there are a variety of different virtual machine managers around, and many of them are free. The one I like best is called VirtualBox, www.virtualbox.org. It's from the same folks that bring you Java, Oracle. And VirtualBox is 100% free. Well, as long as you're not a commercial developer. 100% free. It's also the smallest footprint and most efficient, fastest virtual machine. So what we're looking at here actually is a virtual machine. This is Windows 10 running inside of Windows 10. I have other virtual machines running around, well, running Linux and running, oh gosh, I could run OS X if I wanted to, or I could run 32-bit versions. I could run Windows 7, Windows. You could have as many virtual machines as you want. All right, now to distinguish whether this is a virtual machine I'm looking at or my main machine that I'm looking at, I put the taskbar at the very top of virtual machines and I leave it at the bottom for my main machine. This makes it really easy to tell which is which is why this doesn't really look like Windows 10 because you're used to seeing the taskbar at the very bottom. That takes care of the things that you need to know for doing development, having Windows set up in a most efficient manner for doing developer type activities. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.